Hey guys, I'm actually coming to you from the bathroom. Right there's the toilet. The reason I'm doing the video in here actually is I have been doing a lot of walking with my sister, which I'll get to during my favorites. And my legs are a little sore today. I've walked about 14 miles in the last 4 days, which doesn't sound like a lot to people who are like marathon runners and stuff. But for somebody like me doing 2 to 4 miles a day, sucks really badly because I'm not an exerciser. So I'm actually soaking my feet right now, and coincidentally the lighting in here is halfway decent, so that's the reason I am beside a toilet. But anyway, and I also, just so you know, I have on pants, so it's not like that kind of video. Sorry to disappoint. Anyway, Rochelle recently posted her summer favorites video, and I wanted to go ahead and do that as part of our Veda. Actually have some fun kind of like back to school theme videos that are coming up. So if there's anything you'd like to see for that, let us know in the comments below. And actually I don't really have any like physical items to show you for my summer favorites. I didn't really have like a favorite hair product or face product this summer. In summer I generally kind of just stick to the basics. And here, like I've said in many videos, it's been so humid, wearing makeup and stuff has been kind of pointless, and so I've just been kind of using the same old things that I've shown you in a lot of videos, and I feel like showing you them again would kind of be redundant. Really the only two like makeup or beauty things that I really loved this summer were the Essie Resort collection, which I showed in a video a little earlier on. I really did enjoy all 4 of those colors and thought that they did a really good job with that. And their neons collection actually was really good. I'm not partial to neons because you have to go through the trouble of like painting the white, and then they dry matte, and it's kind of a lot more trouble, but the colors are really good if you're into that. And then the other beauty favorite, actually Rochelle introduced to me. I don't know if I told you all this, but I actually officiated a wedding towards the middle of July. Our friend Katie got married and had asked me if I would officiate, and so the wedding was outside, and I did her makeup and did a couple other people's makeup in the wedding, including Rochelle's, and it was very important to make sure that people were wearing like long-lasting things that would last in the rain or the humidity or the sun, you know, or whatever the weather was going to do that day. And so Rochelle actually introduced me to 2 Avon products that I really like. One is Avon's BB cream. I was super impressed with the quality and the formula of it. I'd never tried a BB cream before and wasn't really sure what I would think of it, but I actually really enjoyed it. The only thing about a BB cream that takes some time to get used to is I'm someone that likes a more matte finish on my skin. And so the like dewier look that you get from BB cream kind of took me a day or 2 to decide whether I liked it, but I ended up really enjoying it. And then the thing that I really like that I'll definitely repurchase is if you go on the Avon's website or have a representative, there is an Avon, it's called like a lasting, I think it's called lasting finish powder. And it's in a compact, and right now the packaging on it is the bottom is black and the top is red. I mean, it's not really anything that exciting looking if I were to show it to you, but definitely look for the lasting finish powder. It makes your skin look really flawless and hides pores and things really well, and I was just super impressed with it. And I had not tried Avon products other than like the little hand creams and the seasonal chopsticks and stuff in a really long time, and I was pleasantly surprised by how well that powder worked, especially for summer. So I will definitely be repurchasing. I'm referring to my list here, that's why I keep looking down. And the next thing, actually, I've talked about it in several videos. I had always enjoyed Pretty Little Liars, but it wasn't until this summer when I really had time with school being out to like sit down and actually watch them and kind of get into the storyline. And I started watching them right after my school let out, which was towards the end of the the end of this May. And basically like marathon them starting at the beginning of June. And I was watching them for a while, like 3 to 4 a night, just to kind of like I started from the beginning and went through and watched some, even though I'd seen some of them before. And I really became addicted to the whole Pretty Little Liars storyline. It's definitely like a different type of show. I mean, sometimes the stuff they say can be cheesy and silly, and it's not necessarily targeted for like, I guess, a mature audience. But what I find funny about it is a lot of people my age, like 30 and up, really love Pretty Little Liars, and there's mom blogs dedicated to it. And I think that people who may be considered like too old for it. I actually enjoy it just as much as like the middle schoolers and high schoolers do, but I really love it. And I have several videos where I talk about it and do tags, so there's not really much need for me to explain it to you. But basically it's like a mystery show, and it has really beautiful fashion and makeup and hair and kind of something for everybody. And so I just have really, over this summer, become like a huge Pretty Little Liars fan. And the next thing actually is kind of embarrassing. Rochelle and I told you earlier this summer that our summer book club pick was Christy's great idea, or Christy's big idea. I always say the wrong one. I think it's Christy's great idea. But anyway, the very first book that was ever published in Anne Martin's A Babysitter's Club series. Now, Rochelle and I, when we were growing up, was when those books kind of first came out. And of course, we read them then, and we loved them. And the Disney Channel actually partnered with Scholastic to come out with a Babysitter's Club television show that only lasted 13 episodes for some reason. I don't really understand, because everyone I know that watched it as a kid really loved it. So I'm kind of curious to know why, like, maybe the ratings weren't there, or Disney dropped it, or whatever happened with it. But anyway, it's currently on Netflix. And you can also type in, I don't know whether they're like legal sites or not, but I know if you type it into a search, several different things. I didn't like explore any further because I have it on Netflix, but there are like multiple ways that you can watch the Babysitter's Club episode. But I would highly recommend, if you have Netflix, adding it to your queue. It's kind of nice. It's very cheesy, much like Pretty Little Liars. In a way, Babysitter's Club was sort of Pretty Little Liars for girls like my age, when we were back in like upper elementary, early middle school, because they were like mystery shows, and it was suspense and boys, and at the time they wore like the latest fashions, and hairstyles and things that people were wearing. And what I like about it is, first of all, it reminds me of my childhood, and so any kind of throwback thing like that is fun. But also, it's very wholesome. It's kind of nice, like now there's so many shows with like blood and gore and cussing and sex. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, I definitely am fans of a lot of those types of television shows. I mean, I was a huge, huge Sex and the City fan for years. And so I'm not saying like there's not entertainment quality to those type of things, but sometimes it's nice to kind of have a palate cleanser, so to speak, and watch something that's just like silly and from your childhood and wholesome. And honestly, going back and watching them with Rochelle and my sister, I enjoyed them as much, if not more, than I did when I was like an early teenager. And so I would highly recommend them. They're really cute, and especially if you are a fan of the books, or even just a fan of like cheesy 80s, 90s TV, I would definitely do that. But we read the first book and both really enjoyed it, and we'll probably read some more in that series. And it was nice. It was light reading. It's very short, less than 20 chapters, I think. But it was just kind of nice to just like read something that was simple and easy and silly and a little bit childish. And I just really feel like those books are still relevant and relatable for girls today, despite like the rapid progression in what teenagers know now and stuff. Next, the next thing that I kind of fell in love with, I was sort of a late fan to The Office. I've talked about that in a couple of videos. But I really, really enjoyed starting to watch The Office and getting to know those characters. And I went in May to Scranton, Pennsylvania, to the Office wrap party, and got to meet almost all of the cast, including Steve Carell, who's really funny and nice in person. And I like that show. It's funny. It's grown up enough and perverted enough and silly enough, but I really like the development of all those characters. Even the ones that are sort of like crotchety or not as nice, they still make them very, very likable. And I just think it's a hilarious show. And Steve Carell as Michael Scott on there is just the funniest thing ever. He reminds me a little bit of an old boss I had, especially when I was at the library. He reminds me a lot like his style of management and responding to problems as a boss I had. But he also reminds me a little bit of myself. Like sometimes when I don't know how to handle a situation or don't know how to like be mature about something, I'll just say stuff that's like completely inappropriate, and that's kind of what he does. And so I highly recommend The Office. I think it's awesome, and I think it's one of those things that's going to be like Seinfeld, that's like timeless. I think people can watch it 10 years from now and still think it's funny and relatable. I mean, it's about disgruntled coworkers. I mean, who doesn't have or feel disgruntled about their job? The next thing, this is a silly one, is steam mops. In our house, we have a lot of the like fake it's not Pergo, it's like the cheap kind of Pergo, the fake like laminate that looks like hardwood floors, and also linoleum. And I have found, and I like the Bissell Steam Mop, but also the Shark Mop. I actually prefer the Bissell because I think it's a little more foolproof. But they clean so well, and you can mop, it's just like the commercials, you can mop so quickly. And so that's definitely a summer favorite of mine. It's really made cleaning the house like a lot more simple and less of a chore. And so I definitely like them. Another thing I like, I'm actually going to stand up to show you, are at my school we have a dress code. I was like, I don't know if you can tell, but as far as our shorts go, we can't wear shorts up here like a lot of people wear in the summer. We're required to wear these longer shorts. And so I didn't want to wear like a culotte type short, or what do they call them, pedal pushers or capri pants. I wasn't a huge fan. They're not super flattering to my body. I'm only 5 feet tall, but I have quite a large booty and like curves right through there. I guess considering my size, I'm like probably more of a pear shape. And so those types of cuts don't flatter me. But I really like these Old Navy shorts because they're thick and they're about 4 inches above the knee, so they don't feel like matronly or anything. And they are very see-through, so you don't have to worry about like what kind of underwear you have. And if you catch Old Navy at the right time, they can be $15 or $12 on sale. And so like to wear outside in the summer or to the pool or babysitting, like they're just very convenient because if something happens to them, you're not out of like a ton of money. So I really have been enjoying those this summer. The next two things are going to be kind of surprising because I'm not somebody that likes fitness. I should, but my sister is actually a runner and very into sports and fitness and always has been. And she's kind of encouraged me to start like trying to take better care of myself. And so one of the things I've been doing for that is actually trying to walk 1 mile to 3 miles every single day, or at least every other day. And part of that has been, I'm actually noticing like the more that I do it, the easier it's getting. And I do notice my pants are fitting a little looser and stuff. So I've been excited about, I'm not as much worried about like weight loss as I am just not getting winded walking up the stairs like at the school and being able to wear my clothes better. I don't really like check a scale. I'm not somebody that looks at a number, but I do pay attention to kind of how my clothes are fitting. And I've also noticed too, like the closer I get to 30 in this sort of new age bracket that I'm going to be in, the less my body like bounces back after I eat a lot of crap, which sucks because I used to just eat what I wanted to and now I can't. But I think we all know how that goes, you know, girl problems. But I've started walking, and one thing I'm enjoying now that I have an iPhone is there's an app called, and I'm not endorsed or anything, I just really enjoy this app and would totally endorse it if given the opportunity to because I like it that much. It is called Map My Run, and what it does is you allow it to have access to your GPS, which I know some people are kind of leery about, but this is one app I was willing to, because what it does is while you're walking, it maps your route. And so it's kind of nice, like if you walk too far and you get lost, then you can find your way back really easily. I'm actually going to turn around right now. But it maps your route, and that's nice because you can kind of see, like if you're wanting especially to go a certain distance and it maps it, you can see exactly where you went and kind of know, okay, that's 2 miles or that's 3 miles or whatever. And it also has a feature where if you want it to tell you, you can type in a distance, like if you want to know if you've walked a mile yet, and it has a man or a woman that comes on that tells you like 1 mile, and then it kind of tells you like your pace. It kind of gives you like your stats for how you're doing, and so it's really nice. So what I can do with that is that you hold it in your hand, and I have an OtterBox for my iPhone because I'm very clumsy, and so you just kind of hold it in your hand, and as you're walking, it can tell by your pacing how far you've walked. And so what I do is I just wait for it 1 mile and then 2 miles. And usually after 2 miles, I've walked enough where I'm feeling like crap and I want to come back home. But it's really nice because for somebody like me that's not really a runner or an exerciser, it gives me like a set goal that I can, if I can do the 2 miles and know that I'm done, it's just a nice way to kind of gauge it for somebody that's sort of new at exercising. And so I really like that app. And I mean, obviously you can go further than like 2 miles or 10 miles or, you know, or whatever you want to do. But I imagine it might be like nice for somebody that was running a marathon to use too, so they could see like how many miles they're going. And then my favorite person this summer Not that I'm discounting Rochelle, of course. It was probably my sister. She's actually getting ready to move to Florida. We thought she was going to have to move to San Diego. Her husband's in the Navy, and I've been having a really hard time with it. And I've been like pretty upset, to be honest with you, over it. Because, well, without getting into like my family history, my sister and I did not have a normal parent situation. We were raised by a maternal grandmother for like a multitude of family dysfunction and drugs and abuse and all that good kind of stuff. Womp womp. But, we'll get to that in another video. And so because of our like lack of kind of a normal family structure, we've always been very close. And so it's hard for me to imagine not having her, you know, around to, and I've always looked up to her, like she's a lot cooler than I am, and you know, I've copied her fashion and obviously her fitness and things. So I'm a little sad about that. So it's been nice this summer with her not working and me not working very much to kind of get to spend more time with her, you know, than maybe I normally would before she moves. And then the next three things are Snoopy Street Fair on my phone. You can get it on Android or an iPhone. It's like you make a fall carnival for Snoopy, and it's all free. And you set up carnival booths and earn coins to buy. I think I like it because it's fall themed. You can buy like a pumpkin carving booth or a trick-or-treat booth. But I also am a huge Peanuts fan, and so the Snoopy thing's super cute. But it's free, and definitely check it out. It's just really fun and a really good time waster. And then the last thing, besides going back to bed, I used to never stay up late and go back to bed. I really have to start this week because school starts for Rochelle and I in a week. I have got to get my you-know-what in gear and start going to bed at 11 and get up at 7 and make myself get up. But what I'm doing is getting up at 7 and then falling back asleep till like 8:30 or 9, and that's not good. So gotta quit doing that. And then the last thing is I'm really trying to drink less soda, which sucks because I'm a huge Diet Coke lover, as you all know. But I found that Kroger has a really good lemon tea that's decaffeinated and sugar-free, and a good lemonade water add-on. So that's what I've been trying to drink this summer to help all my teeth, because I have weak enamel, so I get cavities easily, and just also help my body to feel better. And so anyway, those are my summer favorites. Sorry this video was a little long. Let me know what your summer favorites are in the comments below, and I will talk to you, I think, in 2 days? I don't remember. Anyway, bye.